All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan. You might recognize me from previous monthly webinars. I am going to be walking through our technical updates for today. Um, so if you bear with me, I'm going to share my screen. And I did coordinate with our head of development, who typically runs through what's new with NeuralSeek, any new technical updates, new feature alerts, new integration alerts. Um, so I did walk through that with him. I know you're used to seeing him shine on our monthly webinars, so feel free if you have any questions where you need a little more explanation or how to dive into some of these features. I always point out the community channel at the end, and I definitely will not forget to do that today. But let's kind of run through what's new with NeuralSeek. I'm on our home screen now. And if you haven't recognized NeuralSeek or kind of logged into our home screen in a minute, I can't pinpoint our date where we went live with some new visual updates, but there's definitely a lot of great pointers here for us to get started on. So a little bit of a different UI feel, some next steps around getting more value out of NeuralSeek. You will see our newest feature announcements that correspond with what's new in our changelog on our documentation site. You'll see some of that information here. So we'll walk through how we have some new Google, OpenAI, or Anthropic models, some new LLM comparison dashboards. I believe we've already gone over our agent red team tester with Robert last month. But I will highlight a few of those features along with a few new ones as well. Also have some links right here, directly within our NeuralSeek environment. You can get a link to our community page, get some support on development if you have questions about your subscription, some more information about a few of the features along with videos. So you can check out our previous monthly webinar from last month linked directly in the NeuralSeek UI as well. I'm going to start with our config. I just want to highlight a few of the new models. I believe the new models that we have available for LLM integration today are bear with me, I believe they're the OpenAI GPT-5 models. Yep, the GPT 5.5 family. So let's go to OpenAI. Here we are. So we have GPT 5.5 family, which would be GPT 5.5 and 5.5 Pro. Again, like all of our new model connections, they show you what our model code is, available inputs, outputs, context window, and what we are and not able to support within our models. And I'm sure we've pointed this out as well, but you get a little visual around capability scoring and creativity scoring, and then what's that midpoint that's best for our model here. So the GPT 5.5 models, great models for coding, reasoning, agentic tasks across all domains. So definitely a great new integration. A lot of the new updates with NeuralSeek features lies directly in our agent building platform or our Maestro tab. So I'll kind of run through a few of these here, so bear with me. I do want to point out the agent visualizer. I will hop to that one in just a second because there's quite a bit that I want to showcase, but we'll get into some new nodes. So there's been some updates with file creating and generating full spreadsheets for your agents. If you're familiar, we have a write file node, a write doc node, which allows us to write to a text file, CSV file, or HTML file. There's a new file within NeuralSeek where we're allowed to generate full spreadsheets with Excel called the Create Excel node, where we can create a local Excel file. You'll just add in your file name, right? You can create full spreadsheets from your agents, cells, formulas, colors, tables, filters, multiple sheets, all the goodies that you can build with Excel and then have it created and output there. Let's go to our AI agent marketplace. If I search Excel, we have two different example agents for you to work off of as well, or utilize fully from our marketplace Excel basic example, a ready to run example. It has our text node, which builds up our rows, columns, cells, formulas, right, for our spreadsheets, along with, I believe, some coloring, and then outputs that as our basic Excel file. There is an Excel workbook builder, which helps you auto-generate that multi-sheet Excel workbook, right? So a simple example and then more of a multi-layered example. So feel free to check those out. There's also link extraction is a new node. It's called Get Links under our Get Data tab. So there's a few different under our Get Data tab. Actually, let me just scroll down and show you. We have our website data node, and then we had a website links node. This has been updated to a get links node where we're able to pull links out of any text, whether that be web pages, PDFs, Markdown, a plain text file, and serve it as clean, structured data, right? So we're able to scrape a web page, not just a web page, but all of those that I just listed, PDFs, plain text, Markdown, etc., and generate the following links that we can return into a JSON object or clean structured data for your use. This is really helpful if you're looking at building a pipeline for vectorizing your data and need to fill in that file name or link URL metadata field, and you want to be able to scrape links off so you have some verification and trustworthiness in which documents you are pulling from. If you need to build a multi web scraping, almost like a custom web crawler agent, that get links node is appropriate for those use cases. We do also have some Markdown nodes. So I believe we've had HTML to Markdown or Markdown to HTML nodes where we can convert files from one format to the other. But now we also, in our code toolbox, have a clean Markdown node where we can clean Markdown into plain text for content embedding or vector generation. We'll strip out images, links, headings, etc., block quotes, and then normalize white space as well. So this is really great for stripping out that formatting and that clutter in order to get some clean, reliable text, all with no extra AI cost, right? So we will X out of that. Our next node that I do want to highlight is JWT. So we have in our integrations, we have a JWT tab where we can create a JWT token. But we can also validate a JWT token. So we can verify security tokens directly inside of our agents. And we can either use a shared key here, like a, oops, let's X out of that. We'll use a public shared key, right, for verifying that JWT, or we can use a external auth provider, right, where we can use the JWKS endpoint URL. So provide either this or a static key, but not both. I also want to point out, while these aren't new nodes, they've just been updates to current functionalities within NeuralSeek in general. So we have some better Office file reading for cleaner, more accurate extraction from Word, Excel, or PowerPoint files, including charts and data. So let me point out our notes here when we upload one of those documents into our file management system. And then we use to either write a doc, write a PDF, write a PowerPoint file, or just read and extract that information. We have some better Office handling there. We also have the ability to generate PowerPoints. This is a pretty niche use case. We've always had the ability to generate PowerPoints here. But being able to generate PowerPoints with proper Japanese or other CJK characters and layouts, that was an under the covers updates that's been added to our PowerPoint functionality. So very cool. More functionality that's been updated and enhanced in Maestro has been our looping. So under our variable loop node, where we can pass and loop through a defined base variable name or an object or array of elements, typically we'd be able to loop in a forward fashion, but now within our variable looping node, we can process and handle several items per pass and start to run them in parallel for faster results. That's our array objects or our map over our array. We can also delete. Here we have a sliding scale for that number of items to load per iteration, right? 1 through 10, the default is 1, and it exposes this loop value and loop object variable for us. So along with being able to process multiple items at once with looping through our data, we can also reverse our loops. And that would be this node here where we can set to true or false, where we can iterate over variables in a reverse order and iterate through our data from last to first. So just some new updates there within our looping capabilities. Further updates have been SharePoint improvements. So we do have our SharePoint list files, download files, and upload files nodes. We just have some smarter handling that's been integrated with a NeuralSeek to better handle rate limits when it comes to these functionalities within our SharePoint nodes. And then we did walk through our new and updated models, which would be the GPT 5.5 model family. I do want to get excited around a few things for us. I've saved really the best for last here, and that would be our agent visualizer. Our agent visualizer is a new tab here up at the top where we have our agent editor, our NTL that we're familiar with. And we might also be familiar with our registry where we can assign multiple agents to a registry of agents and then be able to call, loop through agent plans. Our agent scheduler we're also familiar with. And then there's our agent visualizer. So this is a really great space for us to not only visualize the layout of how our agents work and are intertwined together, but also allows us to kind of drill down into those agents and fix them or edit them or kind of more explain how our agents work together in our click path, right? So this is a large example. I can zoom out to a bird's eye view and show all the agents in our demo instance here and how they kind of connect together, and we can visualize that via the connecting arrows. So let's come down and visualize maybe our HubSpot. So this is maybe 7 or so agents that we have together in an agent registry. And all of these agents, while they uniquely work separately with their tasks, they also end up working together in how we can orchestrate some agent functionality into something pretty ambitious and pretty robust for our use cases. So for HubSpot, maybe we are listing all of our deals, right? This is a simple agent that we've created where we're connecting to our CRM and able to list all deals, right? Hypothetically. Maybe we also have functionality within our agents where we can update those deals, add new deals, right, to multiple HubSpots, multiple accounts. Maybe they're under different user registrants. Maybe we need to send all those deals off into a Slack message for our team to have better visualization, right? While these are all separate agents, they're all working together where we can from a front-end user interface perspective, log on to our Slack or log on to our application that's powered on the back end by NeuralSeek and just query my HubSpot. So I can go in and say, what are Jordan's HubSpot tasks for today? What is Jordan France's sales tasks for today? And then on the back end, while that's one user agent maybe front facing for our users, we have all of these running in the back end, and I can kind of visualize how they are interconnected and working together, right? Whether they're calling each other up here, maybe we're calling back to other agents in order to power that first one. It can get being able to open up our agent editor and just view what agents we have in our user agents, our agent visualizer gives us really that great viewpoint, either from a bird's eye perspective or sometime when we can drill down a little bit deeper into these agents. There's a legend here at the bottom where it's showing which agent we're currently focused on, called so many amount of times on the same edge. If it's a self-recursive agent, maybe we need to loop through certain agents, which cycle we're in and which call or direction we're flowing. There's a purple line as well that you might not be able to see if I need to view all my agents, because we might not have one, but oh yeah, it shows us based on conditionals. When we do our web search router based on conditionals, are we going to reach out to Brave Search? Are we going to reach out to an API search, right? Exa API. So quite a few great things with our agent visualizer that's we can really get excited about. So we can start to view how a certain agent is connected. I can scroll through all of them here. I can search by agent's name. I can search for if their NTL contains, oh, I don't have a good NTL off the bat. Let's see. Let's see if we can search. I don't have a good NTL off the bat. I might need to add in my variables by what's exactly what post call, but say I know exactly the URL for my REST call, or I know exactly what document variable is being generated. I can copy and paste in that NTL. We can start to search for agents by then, or if whatever our name starts with, right, I can also unexpand that. And then when I click on the little gear symbol next to some of our agents, let's come down, let's view all, and let's look at our Brave search one. If I expand that, so this shows me that it's a layer 0 search agent. We're calling in Brave Search for a general web search and returning a raw JSON response using the web search router for a general mode. It's showing me which variables are coming in, which variables are coming out, and then I can also click and load into my editor. If I come back into my agent editor, I can click and directly load up which agent I need to work on, edit as is. Maybe I save it, come back to my visualizer, and then instead of my Brave search reaching out to conditional, maybe it's my one and only option, right? So lots that you can do when you drill down into the agent visualizer. It's a great home screen landing page, especially as you see for this NeuralSeek instance, how wide and vast and expanding agents can get. And then again, how all interconnected they can work together. So lots to get excited about the visual editor. There's a few new updates as well around Neural Edit, but I'm taking note of the time and I do want to do Neural Edit its own due diligence and really have a dedicated session where we kind of walk through some of the new features around this platform. So I will leave you on a cliffhanger with a lot more to come with updates with NeuralSeek. I'm going to pause my share here because it wouldn't be me speaking if I didn't show our documentation site or our website. So let me navigate over to neuralseek.com and share our screen again. Quite a lot new with our NeuralSeek website. You might be aware of it I swear it's not just me. NeuralSeek website changes almost daily. And just lots of really good, useful information here on our site. So we can again navigate through our platform, scroll down the website, view not only what's new, but what new nodes are in function, how they're being utilized in real use cases, and then of course lots of different links to get connected with NeuralSeek experts and NeuralSeek teams. So I'm going to come over to resources and then click on our community resource. I might not be logged in, and that's okay. No need to see me struggle through a login and my millions of passwords saved everywhere, but I've done this every time. If you need some in-depth, definitely watch our YouTube channel for last month's monthly video. But if you have questions around any of the new features, like, hey, I saw in the monthly webinar, Jordan demoed some new Excel updates. That's super exciting. I want to use the basic Excel PowerPoint, but use this color branding, like, or update with this table format, or pull my information from Postgres and output as a really nice structured Excel file. How do I do that, right? Or I need some help. That's where our product Q&A questions can really come in. If you make a free NeuralSeek community account, we'd be happy to get connected with a NeuralSeek expert and help answer some of those questions. Same with if you're exploring the agent visualizer or the pipeline visualizer, which is a really exciting new tool in NeuralSeek, and you're needing a little bit more information on which clicks where and how your agents interconnect. Yeah, feel free to drop in that into one of these NeuralSeek threads, product Q&A discussion, and then meet our community team members and our general discussion page. And that's a very quick highlight. I want to make sure that we're keeping on time with NeuralSeek documentation and the NeuralSeek feature updates. I'm going to pause my screen sharing and then jump back over to you, Joy.
Thank you so much, Jordan. That puts us right on time, and we appreciate everything that you do. If there's anything else, whole team, we say reach out to us, and thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you.